can't quite find your face. Soft breath, endless space, your name just out of reach. Something in the silence, hands brushing away, falling. Echoes hold the night, almost say what I mean. Hold you when I can't speak, trace hope on your skin. You feel close enough wild. Everything's kind, calm and dangerous. In my dreams, I'm still brave enough to love you. All the words I lost feel warm and true. Fear never finds me, only you. You say my name when oh goodbye, in that world we never lie. Morning breaks, edges around you, light and I watch you fade. Day pulls you away too soon. Wait for me tonight, just this hush remains. Eyes closed, you breathe me. Almost honest, always almost. In my dreams, I'm still brave enough to love you. All the words I lost feel warm and true. Knees sink in the mud tonight. First soak through a street light. One whimper cuts the pouring air. Two eyes wide with silent prayer. 3 blocks walked with shaking hands. 4 walls rise where kindness stands. The storm outside begins to bend. Now your breath matches mine. Every shiver turns to light. No more hiding in the cold. You are safe here, worth more than gold. 5 bandages, 6 soft words. 7 hours till morning stirred. 8 breaths steady on the floor. 9 dreams knocking at the door. 10 heartbeats sink without a sound. 11 scars start healing down. The dark retreats from window glass. Now your breath matches mine. Every shiver turns to light. No more trembling in the rain. You're the hope I lost and found again. 12 steps taken on your own. 13 seeds and thawing stone. 14 dawns and you look back. 15 reasons not to cry. Street lamp flickers on wet stone. You curl beneath a broken phone. One paw lifted, barely there. 2 ribs showing through your hair. 3 steps closer through the pour. 4 walls waiting by the door. The thunder hushes as I kneel. Now your heart beats next to mine. Every tremble turns to time. No more wandering alone. You are seen. You're not unknown. 5 towels wrapped around your frame. 6 hours calling out your name. 7 breaths slow on the mat. 8 dreams where you don't look back. 9 days watching you sit tall. 10 times you didn't flinch at all. The window glows with morning strays. Now your heart beats next to mine. Every tremble turns to time. No more shadows in your eyes. You got sunshine in your cry. 11 walks without a leash. 12 meals shared in patient peace.